I'm on record criticizing going after Hunter Biden, and I also agreed that the trial in this city, in New York, was politically motivated. That wouldn't otherwise have been prosecuted if it was someone else.
Just for clarification, did you mean that the 34-count case in which Donald Trump was found guilty of various financial crimes was politically motivated here in New York?
I found that when the judicial system gets weaponized and targeted political enemies for political gain, I think that's inappropriate, and I think that degrades our collective trust. Well, I think overall it was a positive experience. I mean, he was kind, he was cordial. It wasn't in any kind of theater. It wasn't trying to get your picture taken to kind of put something out on social media. It was just really a conversation. I actually spoke for over an hour. And overall, my wife was there, and she might be watching right now at home. Hi, Giselle, if you're home. And she was there as well, too, and we just had a conversation.
You've given him a B+ for his efforts. Why?
Well, let's talk about the stuff I like, which is most of everything. He's done a really, really good job on the border. They've already started deportations. People have started self-deporting, which Democrats didn't think would actually happen, but people who were here illegally have decided to go back to the countries they're from, largely Mexico. And he's stopped the influx of new illegal immigration. The entire attitude about immigration here changed almost overnight. I talked to my European friends like, oh, what are we going to do about our migration problems? I'm like, if you change your policies, it will change. And that's what we've done. So it's been a dramatic turnabout here. Some of the things he's done on personnel have been great. Here's what I think he's messed up with, and the reason I can't give him a solid A or A+. The decision to pardon the violent January 6 offenders is going to come back to haunt him. It's one of those things, I think, that instead of now talking about the bizarre pardons that Joe Biden gave out the door, everybody's talking about how a Republican president pardoned people who attacked police officers. The other thing that I think he's done that is going to cause him difficulty, could cause him difficulty, I hope that it doesn't, Laura, because some of these are friends of mine, but he pulled the security details for John Bolton and for Mike Pompeo. These are people that worked with Donald Trump in the White House, and because of the work they did are on an Iranian kill list. And for whatever reason, Donald Trump pulled their publicly funded Secret Service details this week. I don't know why those two things happened. That's what's preventing him from having a perfect first week, I think.
Yeah, I think what Donald Trump has done effectively is proven to people once again that governments can be effective. I think this is true of many democracies, and definitely here in Australia, Mick, that the tinkering around the edges really frustrates people in a cost of living crisis when people feel like that they can see the things that need to be changed, but no one is willing to do it. Is that the sentiment there in America?
Very much so. It's an entirely different attitude towards the government right now. I'm on a television network here in the U.S. where they pair me regularly with Democrats, and I become friends with many of them. And I can't tell you the number of them who've told me, boy, I wish when our people won, they would act as decisively as Donald Trump does. Yeah. He's actually following through on what he said he would do in the election. Ordinarily, politicians, and I used to be one, you sort of promise what you hope you can deliver, and then you sort of get there and you're like, well, I can't do that, but I'll try something else. Donald Trump is doing exactly what he said he is going to do. He fired a bunch of inspector generals this week when he was accused of breaking the law by the Senate, who he said the Senate said he's supposed to give 30 days notice. The administration came out and said, you know what, we think that law is unconstitutional. Let's go to court. We'll fire everybody until then. So it's been an interesting sort of change of attitude about how to run a government, and even the Democrats are noticing.
Yeah, that's right. Also, Donald Trump, his picks for running certain departments, they all need to be confirmed through Congress. That is slowly and steadily starting to happen. But there are a few that haven't happened yet. Is he going to get what he wants here, or might he lose a few people along the way?
Oh, I know these names are not going to register, I know, with a lot of your audience, but here, the folks who are the political junkies, it's popcorn week. It's grab a bowl of popcorn and watch TV all day, because it's Bobby Kennedy this week, Tulsi Gabbard, who is being nominated for the Director of the National Intelligence, and Kash Patel, who's nominated to head our FBI. Again, names you're probably not familiar with down there, but these are going to be probably the highest profile of all of the hearings up to and including Pete Hegseth for Department of Defense next week. I'm particularly interested in watching the RFK Bobby Kennedy hearing this week. He is liable to say anything at any time at anybody, and that makes for good television.
Yeah, it certainly does, Mick. Those names are very familiar to this audience, I can tell you that much. Thanks so much. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Laura.